Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Abyss 1232 here. I have a CZ firearm review for you again. This one's coming straight from our czcustom.com shop in Mesa, Arizona. It's a CZ75 Shadow Custom. SKU number on this one is a 91715. Let's go ahead and open this one up. Now, this particular firearm might be a little bit different from what you'll see coming out of the custom shop, because this is the short dust cover model. Most of the time more people are looking for the full dust cover, the SP01 Shadow. I specifically chose this model because I wanted to eliminate some weight up in the front, because I did happen to have a CZ75B in a single action, which was a short dust cover, and I actually preferred the weight and balance of that one, so I went ahead and picked this up in a Shadow version, fully customized from the CZ Custom shop. Now, what comes in this box is typical of CZ, factory manual, warranty, and what CZ Custom does is, after they've done their custom work, they provide their own test target in a traditional fashion and go ahead and give you the single action, double action pull on the trigger, the inspector, and the date that they did that. So as you can see, this is relatively new if you're watching this, just a couple months back. So it's pretty much what comes in the box. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, it does have this read before operations card, just to explain to you how this manual safety operates a little bit differently from a traditional safety model does. But looking at this one, it comes with your cleaning rod, and it comes with 3 of your 19 round magazines that are known in the SP01 models. Go ahead and safety check the firearm. So you can see it is empty. Now again, not sure if you can pick this up on camera, but there are a couple things to note when you get this pistol, or if you get any pistol from CZ Custom. On the Shadow models, they don't actually paint these. These are shipped to them in different coatings, I believe. So don't quote me on that, but this one is actually Parkerized. You can't tell too much on the difference in the video, but when you see it in person, you'll see that this slide is actually Parkerized versus the base and frame, which is actually poly-coated from CZ. So 2 different finishes here. Hard to tell on camera, but it is different. They don't offer these shadows in the decocker models, only in the safety models. It will be ambidextrous. It does have your competition sights, which has a very nice and tight sight picture. The rear is serrated, as you can see, fiber optic red front. Short dust cover. This model is not going to have the checkering on the back or the checkering on the front, as the SP01 Shadow will have. It does have the extended magazine release, and this one is actually fitted with the shorter slide release versus the extended version in the SP01. Now, you can install an extended slide release in this if you go ahead and customize this safety lever and shave that off. But as it comes from the custom shop, it comes with a normal style, normal length, slide release. It does have your competition hammer, CZ custom part, and one thing that the Shadows are not going to have that the B models do have is the absence of a firing pin block. So what that is going to do is that is going to smooth out your trigger, make it easier to work on inside, and your reset on this pistol is going to be incredibly short compared to a fire pin block equipped CZ, even if it's fully modified. But it does come with your full length CZ custom aluminum grips, thin profile, and then it has your skateboard tape inlays on both sides. You can make your magazine release swapped over to the other side if you care to. You do have to disassemble the pistol and know the inner workings of it to do that, but it is possible to switch this over to the other side. So you can see here already part of the customization from CZ Custom is that they fully polish this external part of the barrel. But a very nice job by the CZ Custom shop. The guys there do an amazing job. You do have this 85 Combat older style trigger with your over travel screw, and that's actually already been adjusted by the custom shop. So once you do fire the pistol, the trigger stops completely and cleanly after the break. Now I will say one thing, it's noted that the trigger pulls are going to be about 3.5 pounds on the single action and 8 pounds on the double action. I didn't find that to be true. I found the trigger pull weight to be a lot lighter in the double action. I'll go ahead and show you guys that, but they completely polished the internals, or what needs to be, I should say, and let's go ahead and look at the insides real quick so I can show you that. Breaks down just like any other CZ. This one's very stiff, so I'm actually going to use the mag to push it out. Now it does come with a full-length steel guide rod. This is an 11-pound recoil spring. Your barrel, and as you can see, they did a great job of polishing and smoothing out your barrel feed ramp and locking lugs. Underneath, you can see that it's nicely polished. Edge where your firing pin retaining plate and your contact points right here. It's amazing to feel how smooth this barrel slides inside the slide itself after they took the time to polish and refine that barrel. I have test fired this pistol, and I will say that I've had 0 malfunctions. Completely 100% reliable with all the ammo that I've used. I've used Winchester White Box, Cellular Bellet, Gecko, Federal Champion, American Eagle, and various others. A lot. Let's just say a lot. And I try to use as many different kinds of factory ammo that I can. in pistols to test them, to function test them, and make sure that they're not ammo sensitive, since this is a reduced hammer spring. It's actually listed at a 13-pound hammer spring, but what they do, and since this is a 2014 model, as you can see right there, they now include the extended firing pin and the reduced spring inside so that you don't have those malfunctions. If you happen to get an older model, it won't have the extended firing pin. You might have light struts. You might have them, but I didn't have any issues with it because it already has that installed. So if we take a look at the inside here, see the polishing work on the trigger bar, and you'll see that there's no firing pin lifter because there's no firing pin block. Took the competition hammer, they polished all that out, contact point where the slide rides above the hammer itself. And then they reworked the safety. So you'll see right here. So now the safety works a little bit differently now compared to a 75B, where you can actually engage the safety with the hammer down, and you can engage the safety with the hammer cocked, so it won't be able to fire. Cocked and locked. Now, one thing that, if you choose to get this pistol over the SP01, your magazine well is not going to be beveled. Okay, so depending on what you're using this for, again, if you're using this for competition, most people will be. They're looking for CZ75 shadows and SP01 shadows for competition purposes. And really, you shouldn't be spending all that money to get a shadow and wait all that time to find one and locate one if you're not going to be using it for a competition. But that's just a personal preference. I mean, just the purpose of the pistol, the ability to have a very short reset, extremely short reset, I should say, with the shadow models. Really no need for that in defensive purpose, at least in my opinion, unless you have money to kill. But for us budget-minded, economical people, the shadows should strictly be competition oriented, and that's why that you're only able to get them at custom shops like CZ Custom and CajunGunworks.com, Automatic Accuracy, and possibly just from various vendors that happen to come across it. But unless they specialize in CZs, you're not going to be able to come across these very easily, especially in the short dust cover length model. SP01 shadows maybe a little bit easier to come across. They both have the same price tag, but again, it just depends on what you're comfortable shooting. I prefer the weight and the balance of the short dust cover. But either way, both are great pistols. Like I said, I'm honored to have this pistol. It took me quite a while to locate this one. This is actually not purchased from CZ Custom. I actually had to find this through a dealer who specialized in carrying competition pistols, and finally they got a hold of this, and I went ahead and purchased it immediately. But if you should so want to, you got oakhillguns.com. That's the people that I got it from. You can probably find them on Gunbroker. Great shout out to them because they do have a great selection of firearms for either competition or just rare, hard to find, awesome to shoot guns. So that's a look at the CZ75 Shadow model. Guys, this is an amazing pistol from czcustom.com, and the guys at Custom Shop over there did an amazing job. really perfecting this pistol. But if you guys want to really reap the benefits, this is where the glory is, right here. Is in this trigger. Incredibly smooth double action, and then in single action, pretty light, very short take up, crisp engagement. And then if you watch the reset here, it's so short. Just got to do it again because you almost can't even perceive how short that is. So it's about 2 millimeters right there, and then very little movement after the reset, and another very short movement to give it about a 3.5 pound break on the single action. Now, just to verify the trigger pull, go ahead and break out my trigger gauge here. And like I said, I found to have a shorter trigger pull weight than what was listed on the paper, but that's not a bad deal. I'll take that all day. And light trigger pull is okay with me. Now they listed it at 8 pounds, I believe, and let's see, coming out at 7.5. Try it one more time. Clean break. Whoops, I moved it a little by accident, but about 7.5 again. And about 8 pounds, so 7.5, 8 pounds on the double action, but it is very, very smooth, guys, because of all the work that they did on the gun. Let's go ahead and try your single action. So they have it listed at 3.5, I believe it was, but I'm looking at a little under 3. Try that again. And a little under 3 again. And the third time is a charm, a little under 3. So very consistent single action pull. And like I said, I have test fired this pistol. It is very reliable with a very light trigger pull and an amazing reset. So again, one more time, that's your single action. It's about all the movement you're going to get in the trigger, guys. Your 3 pound break. And super short, and a little bit of movement after the reset. And try that one more time because this trigger is just amazing. Very short, very crisp single action. The single action is meant to mimic very closely the 1911 trigger, and I think CZ Custom did an amazing job doing the trigger job on this, and they have definitely met their goal. But good job, CZ Custom. This is your CZ75 Shadow and Abyss 1232, leaving great comments and a positive thumbs up. Shoot straight, shoot safe, guys.